Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We know you're probably spending a lot of time at home these days, and maybe you're taking advantage of that time to look at old photos and videos of family vacations and gatherings. Well, we at Chronicle thought it might be a good time to look back as well at some of our more memorable moments. One of the questions we get more than any other is, whatever happened to the old Chevy? Longtime co-anchor Peter Mehegan and his trusty '69 Chevy logged a lot of miles together in Maine. For those of you who missed those years, and those who missed the Chevy and Peter, here's a look back, beginning with an interview from 2016, where Peter explains how it all began. How did the whole On the Road series with the Chevy begin?
Judy Stoya, who was the producer at the time, one of the producers, came to me and said, I want you to come up with a show that you want to do. And I said, Judy, I have an idea. I said, I have an old Chevy. It's out in the weeds behind my house. It needs work. If you pay to fix it up, I'll take it to Maine 4 times a year and see what I can find for stories. She bought it. The joy for me was driving down a road and seeing a sign for a cheesemaker or something like that, putting on the brakes, going into the driveway and seeing if the old codger would talk to me.
I made the crack one time that in Maine we didn't write books, we lived them.
John Gould, the Maine writer, said to me one time that the stereotype of the cold, unfeeling Mainer was really not true at all. That comes from people who ask the wrong question and got the right answer, as he put it. You know, like, lived here all your life? Not yet.
The old Chevy first hit the road in 1987 and began to develop its own cult following. Call it Chevy Envy.
Ryan Matrano of Bellingham found this, a 1969 Chevy Impala Custom. Hey Peter, look familiar?
Same squeak.
Joe Scola of Medfield owns this old Chevy. We wondered, does this Chevy make road trips to Maine?
Sure, if Peter wanted to meet me up there and, have a lobster roll, sure, I'd meet him up there.
While the Chevy did once cruise its way along Dot Ave, Peter logged most of its miles down east.
I was never recognized in Maine, except for the extreme southern Maine where they got the program. But one time I went to Canada. And I went to Nova Scotia, and I took the Chevy and got off the ferry, and people started waving at me.
Yes, Chronicle is seen in Nova Scotia nightly at 8:30.
And I was astounded. I was so far from home to encounter this whole bunch of Chronicle viewers.
In 1993, the Chevy hit a near-fatal roadblock when the body was in dire need of an overhaul. Enter Dan Simard.
He wrote me a letter offering to have his students at Westford's Neshoba Valley Technical High School restore the old Chevy as part of their auto body program. It was 1969 all over again as the Chevy rolled off the assembly line.
A little more than a decade later, Peter's longtime Chevy whisperer, David Dauphiny, diagnosed new problems.
They just blistered away too much.
Enter a new old Chevy. A virtual twin that David found in Vermont on eBay.
The original car basically rotted away, and so we had to do something in a hurry. So we put the two cars together. So most of it is original, the doors, the trunk, the engine, the hood. I still call it the original old Chevy, even though it has a few new wrinkles. We covered thousands of miles in this car. I went to every county in Maine, including Aroostook County, the last show we did. It was the only county in Maine I hadn't been to. It was so far away.
It is New England's big sky country, Aroostook County, Maine. The landscape is wide open, agricultural, reminiscent of the American Midwest. Up here, they call Aroostook simply the county.
People ask me, well, where did you get the car? But it was actually a family car. It belonged to my wife's aunt. Catherine Sliney of Belmont, Massachusetts, and when she passed away, we acquired it, and the rest is history.
What did happen to the old Chevy? That's next.